Hello, lovelies. How are you guys doing? Everyone doing okay? Awesome.
Yes, we are. I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, doing amazing. Doing amazing. So, while I let everyone who isn't on time in, how many of you guys are having issues with value bombs in any sort of way? I see Andrea, yeah.
I
Sue, I see
am.
Adrian too. I see Miss how do you how do you say your name? Is it Anne Marie?
Yep, it's Anne Marie.
Perfect. Awesome. I love that. She's new in LOL, so I've got some of my LOL students here too because everyone could always work on getting their value bombs optimized. So I'm gonna pick on someone. Miss Page, what are you having issues when it comes to value bombs? Like I want to kind of get a scope of the room and how I can be most helpful today for you guys with the value bombs.
Um, hey everybody. Yeah, like I just keep massaging it. My biggest challenge is that I am getting a lot of views, but I'm not getting people to actually go into Messenger with me. And so thank you today because we were working through like my latest one, and I got to hear this right before the call, and that's super helpful. But I think my biggest challenge is that small problem, just continuing to just get that down to like more of a kernel than a big, than a big, huge impact versus like a small problem that they're dealing with. So,
Okay.
and the funny thing is like the example that I shared with you today is literally like I gave this woman a 3-point strategy. The one that I've been using as a value bomb is the one that got her 2 clients in less than a week. 2 premium, like high level clients in less than a week. But somehow I'm not articulating that through my messaging and what I'm saying. I think that what we're working on right now is really going to help it because this will be my first over the shoulder of actually going through that. So this will be my first time doing that. So hopefully that'll make the impact. I can't wait to get it out there and see what happens.
That's awesome. And I want to talk to a couple of people just so I can kind of get a field. Adrian, are you having issues getting people to are you having trouble coming up with it? Kind of let me know how is it going with you and value bombs?
Um, for me, I think I have like a mental block about it, like a little bit of what like the content of what to share seems a little bit easier than what to offer to bring people in. I have a dashboard that I've created. I'm a Google tool specialist, so it's a Google Sheets, and I appeal to people who aren't techie. That's my big thing is I'm going to make Google easy for you if you're not techie. And so I have a challenge that does all the videos of walking you through the dashboard, but I've been giving the dashboard away for free and then saying, hey, if you want more help on putting this together, you can go. And that's seeming to do okay, but I don't know, I feel like I'm mentally stuck.
So whenever you're giving it away, do you feel like maybe you're giving them something that overwhelms them and they're just not doing it?
That,
And
and
I
I think
hear
I
that and
don't.
I'm like, that sounds so overwhelming. I don't even know where to start with that.
That probably is the case, and I know you said in past videos you're not very techie either, so
Nope.
maybe I can pick your brain for some of my messaging and how it would appeal to you. But that is probably a very true thing. It's probably way too overwhelming for people, and I also think I need some help on the messenger conversations themselves too, on how to, because I'm so used to the many chat aspect of here you go, and I need more help on the conversation. So.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to talk about messenger conversations. We're going to do the whole 9 yards today. So Clara, and then we're going to get started.
Yeah, what would be really helpful is it's more on the messenger side because I finally got people commenting. So
Hey, good
yay.
job.
Um, but now that they're commenting, it's highlighting a couple issues. One, I need to hone my messaging more because it is attracting people more beginner than what I expected. So that's on me. And what I found is I do not have prolific enough content yet I recognize when they're a beginner, and then I don't have something immediate to give them instead of the value bomb that was meant for someone further. So that's on me. But the second challenge is, I follow the script. I ask like a qualifying question, and sometimes they don't respond. And then I get a little frozen of like, should I keep trying to ask questions? If it's been a day past, it's like, hi, did you see my question? Like, I don't know quite how to bring it up when they don't respond to that initial question. And I guess I feel a little, what's the word? Like, I don't want to bother them by keep trying to like see if they'll respond to me. And then when I have sent the value bomb, and then I try to follow up a couple of days later, like, hey, how did it go? Did it bring up questions? I'm happy to answer. And I still don't get a response. Same thing. How do I keep it going without coming off as like annoying or like too persistent? So
Yep, absolutely. Okay. So I've got a good gauge. We're going to get started. And then as we're going through, we can ask questions and have a talk. Like I want it to be very interactive because I do want this to be the most helpful training that I'm going to do on value bombs and as far as like helping people go through it. Right. But I think I would be doing a big disservice if I didn't start off saying that, hey, everything that you guys are talking about is completely normal, right? There's always 3 reasons that people might not be asking for the value bomb, and we're going to cover them all today. Number 1 is they might not understand what the value bomb actually is. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is they'll come with their conversion multiplier, or they'll come out with their content and they'll say, a great promise of value. In this video, I'll show you XYZ. If you want the checklist, drop me a line below. But they're not telling people what the checklist is and how it's actually going to accelerate the process, right? So sometimes people aren't asking for the value bomb because you're not clear on what the value bomb is. Reason number 2, and why do they need to get it today? Right? Like if I'm offering someone my messenger SOP, I tell them, hey, in this video, I'm going to walk you through my messenger framework that closes 60% of leads onto a booked call. And because I want you to try this today and get your first client, drop me a line below this video and I will give you this so that you can start using it today. Do you see the difference in just saying, hey, I'm going to give you my messenger SOP, drop me a line below? What did I do? I added urgency. Why do they need to get it today? Otherwise, they're just going to be like, oh, I'll come back and get it later. Okay. Reason number 3. Okay. And this is where it's sometimes a hard pill to swallow. We could have everything correct. We could have the perfect hook. We could have the perfect value bomb. It could be the most perfect piece of content, but for some reason, your audience doesn't trust you yet. And that is perfectly normal. Okay. Now there's a couple of things that we can do in order to automatically get people to trust us. There's some easy fixes, but then there's some not so easy fixes, right? Practice is not an easy fix. Practice takes time. But I'll give you guys a couple of scenarios where it really was a quick fix. So one of my Lean on Laurel students is a fitness coach, okay? He does fitness. He teaches people how to work out. And ironically, he teaches people how to get out of their office and do workouts while they're still working. Yet he was doing his content where? Behind a desk, right? Are you doing your content in the appropriate place that your ideal client would expect you to be? Are you at a weird place? Are you where your ideal client would expect you to be? Now, I'm not saying that talking head, sitting at a desk doesn't work. Is it appropriate for what you sell, right? If you are a gym owner, or you are a fitness coach, it is probably not appropriate for you to be sitting on a couch or sitting in a chair behind a desk to do your content. You should probably be out where your ideal clients would probably say, okay, this dude's a real coach, right? If you see someone sitting on the couch or sitting behind a desk, they're probably wondering, is this guy a fitness coach? He doesn't look like a fitness coach, right? And so those are some things, like I said, there's some easy fixes that we can do when it comes to, putting out our content. And there's some not so easy fixes, right? It's not so easy to get up every single day and do content, but yet that's what we have to do. Practice makes perfect. Right now, all of you guys need quantity over quality. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to quiz you guys. Okay. So what are the characteristics of a good value bomb? What is the first thing? What is the first thing that makes a great value bomb? Who's going to be that rock star?
Do we count Laurel since we're lean on Laurel? Or does it
No,
give the
lean
game
on
away?
Laurel students. I would expect you to get this right. So
Okay, we'll be
yes.
quiet.
It solves a problem in 10 minutes.
Love it. Yes. So solves a very specific problem. It can be consumed in 10 minutes and can be executed on within 24 to 48 hours. Does it all have to be this? No, but this is what we want it to do. Then what we want it to do is in the execution of it, it needs to reveal the bigger problem, right? So, for instance, what does that mean? Okay. So let's say I have, Tina and Dan come to me and they're like, Laurel, we're not having any messenger conversations, right? That's a very specific problem. You need conversations or the fastest path to cash. If I gave them a 5-minute Loom video showing them how to create a 60-second Reels video that they could literally record literally right then and there and put it inside the ads manager, right? They could do that within 48 hours. That can be executed on within 24 to 48 hours, right? They can consume the video, grab the script, go shoot it, launch it in their ads manager. What do you think is going to happen within 24 to 48 hours? Hopefully, right? If it's executed correctly, they're going to start to have messenger conversations. What is the bigger problem that that's going to reveal? Shit, we're getting a ton of leads, but we don't know how to convert them. Well, Tina and Dan, would it be worth a 15-minute phone call for me to walk you through the step-by-step process on how to get people from Messenger onto a phone call? Do you see how ease of conversation that went? So that if you're having issues, and we're going to go deeper into this, but that's what I want you guys to understand. This needs to reveal that there's a bigger problem. Because what you're doing is a lot of you guys are trying to solve too big of a problem. I saw someone the other day do a value bomb, and it was like how to make $74,000 in, the next 48 days or something like that. And I was like, that's what kind of value bomb is that going to attract? What kind of person is that going to attract? So here's the thing, and this is what I want you guys to understand, that there's a difference, okay? There needs to be a fine line. A value bomb that talks about, here's how I made $74,000 in 48 days or whatever, right? That's going to attract a whole bunch of people who are very income based. They're not problem solving based, right? They're just looking for anything that's going to raise their income. They're not really addressing any problems that people are having, right? What's going to happen? That post is probably going to get 500 to 600 people raising their hand. The volume is good, but what is also going to happen? It is going to be a waste of complete time. You might have 1 or 2 people in that 5 to 600 people that are raising their hands. So sometimes too much volume can be a bad thing. Who wants to spend time talking to people who aren't really our ideal client, right? We want people who are ready to solve that problem. And so this is why I'm going to show you this next exercise that we're going to go through, and we're going to go through it together. And so if you guys have any issues, we could actually go through that entire process. Now, because I get a lot of people inside the 7 program, they'll be like, I got 1,000 comments on my value bomb. And I was like, I know you think that's good, but that's actually bad. It means that you didn't go specific enough and you stayed too broad. So we want to have that fine line, right? There should not be 1,000 people asking for your value bomb. I always find like the sweet spot on a value bomb is like 30 to 40 every couple of days is like kind of like the sweet spot, because you know you're getting enough quantity, but it's not going to be overwhelming to where you're having to, you know, shortcut having conversations, because we don't want to shortcut having conversations. We want to only have conversations with people who are actually going to buy our thing. Okay. So here's how I do it. And we're actually working on, I don't know if you guys saw, I made an announcement that my two buddies, Eve and Crystal, they are actually going to build a GPT that members of the $7 program are actually going to be able to use, to where if you do a little exercise that I'm going to post the video either today or tomorrow, but if you guys do that exercise in Chat GPT, they'll give you a simple little prompt that you'll be able to just knock out a whole bunch of value bombs to test at one time. That's gonna be pretty cool, right? I know for me, helping you guys, that's gonna be a really cool thing. But for right now, we kind of have to do it manually unless you already know how to do something like that. And like I said, I'm really not, you know, awesome at tech. I'm still old school. I still do a lot of whiteboard, Google Doc, and all of that fun stuff, right?
No, you can do your own thing.
Oh,
No, it's too late now.
So here's what we actually want to do. Okay. And this is what I do. I literally just get out a Google Sheet. So right now, everyone get out a Google Sheet. And what I want you to do is I want you to list on that Google Sheet 5 to 10 specific problems that your ideal clients are trying to actively solve. Like they could be looking on YouTube, they could be Googling this, right? So if you are like me, right? We should all know our businesses better than, like, you guys should know your business better than I should, right? We should all know who our ideal clients are. We should all know that. And so we want to go super, super specific, right? Like how do I know what problems you guys are having? I just asked you and you guys told me, right? A specific problem for a lot of you guys. So a specific problem would be they can't close Messenger conversations, right? Another person said they they can't close their sales call. Someone else said they don't know what to write in their power content video, right? So we just want to go down the list, and we just want to write 5 to 10 problems. And so I'm going to give you guys a minute. Does anyone have any questions about specific problems when it comes to, like I said, we're going to do exercises, we're going to stop, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to move forward. Are you guys okay with that? Because I think a lot of you guys are going to learn just by watching, you know, me help other people. Does anyone want to volunteer? Clara.
When we're listing the problem, should we also think of it in the same way as making them like small problems?
Very specific problems. Like what would someone run into, like what issue would someone run in today and be like, I'm going to quickly Google how to solve that problem.
Like it'd be too big to be like, I want another income stream selling X. That's like too broad, unless I got more specific of like, I want to make this much more with this income stream.
I think how to make an income stream with X, I think that's specific enough.
Okay.
You could probably give them a value bomb that's going to help them consume it in 10 minutes or less and execute within 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, like Patricia said, find the right software setup for their automated webinar. That is perfect. That is exactly how specific we want to get. Jackie.
I'm sort of, because I'm just starting, I did actually put a question on that Ask Laurel, but I'm stuck on your first step, which is mapping out the whole thing. You know, trying to actually get into the client's head. And because I'm in the fitness industry,
Okay.
and I'm specialized, it's quite hard to say certain things on Facebook because then they don't like it, you know, like the Facebook, you know.
If you stay, and just stay first or third person. But you can still list problems, right? So what is your audience like searching for?
Well, the audience I work with have got stress issues or autoimmune diseases. So, but most of them can't lose weight or they can't stop feeling bloated or things like that. But then in the past, Facebook have shut me down, not shut me down, but I've been restricted for those things, saying those things.
It's because you're talking in second person. You got to talk in third or first person. So that would be kind of a situation that people are in. What is the problem, right? Like, like a specific problem. Every time I eat tomatoes, I get a stomach ache. That's like a common problem with people who have autoimmune disease. Nightshades make them super sick. Right.
Right. So
someone might be like Googling why do tomatoes make me sick? Or why do tomatoes cause inflammation? So that's how specific that we actually want to get, right? Because then for someone who loves tomatoes, what can you do? I will show you how to create a very simple spaghetti sauce using beets instead, and it tastes just as good as the tomato version. Who wants the recipe? You see how simple that was once I got to the very specific problem?
Yeah.
So like Tom says, eliminating stress, emotional binge, boarding, those are all like situations that people get into because they are having problems. Like what is the problems that is causing them to binge eat? What is the problem that's causing them to overeat? And how are they trying to actively solve it?
They're getting triggered by something, a negative interaction with their boss. They got cut off.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. This is all perfect. That is the problem. Those are the problems that lead to the weight situations.
So the value bomb would be how to deal with the pain in the ass manager that triggers you to go to the break room and eat soda and candy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Is there something that you can give them as a resource like that? So the way that we think about this, right? Like, and this is how you should be building all of your offers the same way, right? You should start with what are all of the problems that this offer solves, and what are and we'll get to what are the resources that I can give them that are going to solve those problems. Those resources, those are all your value bombs. Those can be all of the resources in your program. Like all of my value bombs are resources from my Lean on Laurel program.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
like, think about like it, like all we want, like the way that I want you guys to think about this, because this is really what we're doing. We're showing up and we're thinking, okay, what problem am I going to help people solve today? And I'm not going to think about selling. I'm just going to literally show up and say, what problem can I help people? And I'm not thinking about money. I'm just literally showing up to serve. Like every day when people are in my messenger, I just show up and I'm like, how could I be of service to you today? And people just naturally ask me, how could I pay you? And I'm like, well, sometimes I'm like, you don't have to pay me. I'll just let's just hop on Zoom real quick, right? I just show up to be of service, because even if that person can't pay me, like they're going to tell 5 other people how awesome I am. And then I'm going to get 5 new friend requests, right? And then one of their 5 friends are going to pay me for something. And so that's the way that I every single day I get up and I'm like, cool. What problems am I going to help people solve today? I don't worry about, am I giving away the stuff that like Tina and Dan are in Lean on Laurel. I see Paige here. I see in Marie here. I don't think any of them are mad that I give you guys the same resources I give them. No, that's not what they're in Lean on Eric. I see Eric too. They're not mad that I'm giving you guys the same resources, right? They get me in Voxer every day. They don't care that I'm giving you guys a Google Doc. And I think so many people are just so scared to like hold all of their stuff. But guys, there's nothing that people can't get for free anymore. I guarantee you anything that you think is proprietary is already on the internet for free somewhere. Yep. Let's see. Jeff says, is this problem specific enough? I can't convert my leads to sales. Let's go one step. That's a great example. I'm glad that Jeff said this. I can't convert my leads to sales. Can we get more specific? I can't convert an email address into a sale. I can't convert my Instagram followers to a sale. You see how I got just one step closer? Because here's the thing, there's going to be one person who's going to resonate with that when it comes to email, and another person that's going to resonate with that with Instagram. people are going to resonate with the actual vehicle that we're delivering things. In Marie. By the way, I am like, you guys should all be jealous of the notes that In Marie takes. When she applied for Lean on Laurel, she was like, I'm just going to show you my notebook. And I was like, you're in already.
Yeah, and I've took a lot since you started talking too. I love taking notes.
That's the
But
way that that's the way that I learned too. Physical notes. I'm still a physical note person.
yeah. So the problem that I am facing is that I don't think that my target audience know that they have the problem that I'm trying to solve.
That is, yes. Let's talk about that. Let's let's dive deep into that a little bit. So can you explain like me a specific example?
For example, the infinite banking concept, which I am an infinite banking practitioner, it is not a household word or a household phrase. So very few people are familiar with it, even though it's been around for centuries.
Yep.
And so
is it the same concept as being your own bank?
that is exactly what it is. It is the original. It is the becoming your own banker. There's a lot of spin-offs, but Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash is the creator for centuries now. And
okay, cool.
Yeah, and so when I try to share with individuals that it could provide them with financial freedom, financial control, and liquidity, for example, I give an example of liquidity. I've seen people that will plow down $1 million to buy a piece of real estate, and then that equity sits in that house like a lazy cash. And I try to explain, if you had put that $1 million into an infinite banking concept policy, then you would have access to that money, but the account value continues to grow uninterrupted compounded interest.
I love this example. Okay. So this is so people don't know the problem, right?
Right.
But if we take a step back, and I was here where your ideal client was 2 years ago until we hired our financial strategist.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was I had money and I did not know what to do with it. That is the problem. And so people are like, what is a universal indexed life insurance policy?
Right.
What is all of this? And so what I want you guys to think about, think about the value bomb as just a way to get a conversation with someone who needs what you have. And so we can create a value bomb, even if it has nothing to do with what we personally do. But if it's going to get a person who would be our ideal client to raise their hand and have a conversation with them, guess what? We can now give them something that we actually can do for them. I'll give you an example, right? So we had during the Blitz, I had a woman who owned a med spa, and she had a proprietary sugar that they would use for hair removal. I said, your value bomb should be the sugar recipe. And she was like, but wouldn't people not come into the salon? I said, well, watch this. I said, well, if you gave away the sugar when you're having the messenger conversation, you could say, hey, by the way, here's the sugar recipe, but you should probably know it takes about 4 hours to make and set. And most people who try to do it end up burning themselves. If you have time tomorrow to come in, I can get that done in 10 minutes and in and out during your lunch hour. Can I make an appointment at my med spa for you? You see how I use the value bomb to attract someone who needed hair removal, not necessarily looking to come to my salon, but I attracted someone who needs what I have and made their life so much easier with an offer. So that is where I think a lot of people are missing the idea behind the value bomb, because you guys are focused on giving people the value bomb. We actually don't want to give people the value bomb. That's the whole point. The whole point is we want this value bomb to intercept a conversation with someone who's our ideal client. It's a lead gen tactic to just get a conversation. Does that make sense to everybody? And so in Marie's case, all of her value bombs can be centered around investment opportunities, right? Because that's what they think that they need. But once she gets them in Messenger, she could actually ask them a couple of diagnostic questions and be like, well, did you know you could actually get X amount of return on your money doing XYZ? Would it be worth a 15-minute call with you to let me show you an example of how I did for so-and-so last week? So you see how easy that conversation just kind of turned into
Right.
a place of convenience for the person, because who would say no to that? Would it be worth 15 minutes if I could show you how you could do XYZ and it would save you so much time and not having to do XYZ?
Yeah.
So think about all the small problems that people have, right? Probably someone is like looking to invest. Maybe they invested in real estate and they're like, whoa, this was a bad idea. Is that a problem you can fix, right? Because your lowest hanging fruit, in Marie, are going to be the people who invested in crypto and lost money, invested in real estate, and they want to pull their money out, but they don't know where to put it.
Right. Or they can't even pull it up because it doesn't have that liquidity. They don't have that control, which they would have with internet banking.
Yep, exactly. You getting some ideas now?
Yes.
Chris.
Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for having answering my question. So I'm having issues with my value bomb, which is why I'm in this call. So I was just seeing, like, I had all these ideas come to mind where I was on the call, and I did the exercise like you said, and I came up with several. But
Okay.
one of the biggest problems, I think, like, do you think this is strong enough? Missing patient online inquiries. I'm not sure how, like, I could phrase that makes it make more sense for holistic practitioners, because that's pretty much my ideal audience. But I'm trying to build more of an online presence for them, because I like,
So
I'm
when
pretty
you
much
say
starting
they're
with zero.
missing patient inquiries, does that mean that they're getting patients that are interested, but they're not following up with them?
Yeah, like, they're going to their website, so, like, they're interacting with their chat websites, but no one's on the other end. So the person's ending up going to someone else down the street, like another naturopath or another chiropractor.
So what is
So
what is the problem? Like, why are they not getting those inquiries?
because no one's there to answer their questions. It's either later at night or like after hours, the person's on lunch in between, because like, I'm working with a client right now who's a practitioner, and she's always in between appointments, and she can't always answer all these phone calls or these online messages for her.
Those are two problems right there for you, and that is perfect.
Perfect. Awesome.
That is perfect. That is
So if
awesome.
I create a value bomb around it, like, I just created a free, or not free, like a 15-minute video on, like, how to create like an online assistant in like 5 minutes without being a coder.
Yes. How to literally create an automated assistant without knowing how to do any code.
Perfect.
In 5
Awesome.
minutes.
Cool. I'm
See
gonna go
how
post
freaking
that.
good that is? That is good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you see it? Did you see you in one of my ads? You're the star of one of my ads, Chris. Have you seen
Am
it
I
yet?
really?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I need to see it.
It was that day that I rewrote your power offer on one of the Zoom calls.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. I'm gonna go look for that right after. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Abdul.
Yeah, thanks for calling on me. So, my problem is, just to give you an idea of my offer. So
Yeah.
I teach people like front-end development and to get them basically into the tech industry. And
Hmm.
so I tested out a bunch of value bombs so far. So the last one, let me just pull it up. It was like a roadmap, a 2024 updated roadmap. On like where to start, what languages and frameworks to master, how to build coding experience and how to get paid experience, right? And ultimately how to get hired. And then I mean, I didn't really see any progress with that. And then the next thing that I did
Because
was
how to get hired, right? That's a very broad term. What is the problem that's keeping them from being hired?
no, it's information because in the beginning, they're because I'm mostly working with people who are trying to transition. So they
Okay.
don't even have the skill set, right?
Okay.
And so my offer is the training, right? And the education. So I can't really pinpoint an issue that can give them an immediate
What's the first step? What's the first step? What's the first problem you solve when they start working with you?
I mean, like you have to teach them like I mean, HTML, CSS, just different languages.
Yeah. Like, can you teach them their first HTML code in 10 minutes or less?
I guess so, yeah.
There's a lot of little, like, I think sometimes we think that like we have to get people across the finish line when we really just have to get people across the starting line.
So maybe like just make your first homepage in 5 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Now you're thinking, because if you can get them to do that, they'll be like, whoa, the Abdul, I need to work with Abdul. He literally just helped me do this.
Okay, that actually sounds like a good idea. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that instead.
Yep.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Because
Yep.
I did have a front end. I tested another offer. It was like a 10-hour mini course,
Yeah.
but
That's
I
way too
didn't get
much.
any. It's way too much, like overwhelming, but I got it. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Like we can give people 45-minute trainings and stuff like that once they're in our warm bucket and they're familiar with us. The whole point of this like exercise that we're doing is because remember, most of these are to cold traffic, right? Because to get the conversation. And so that's why we want to get them a win as quick as possible. Because getting someone to spend, like, think about this, right? If you don't know somebody and you see a video and you're like, I don't really know who this person is, but I'll give them 2 minutes of my time, right? It's really hard for someone who doesn't know you to give you 45 minutes of their time. Like that's a lot. Like even though it's free, it's still their time. And people are very protective of their time these days because so many people have overpromised and under-delivered on so much content that now we have to be better content creators. Marketers like to ruin everything. Adrian.
So as you're talking, I'm thinking of like basically like why do people book coaching sessions with me? Like what are those problems that they're trying to solve through there? And one of the big things that people have come to me for is like getting the Google Workspace set up, or like they're so overwhelmed with that process, or with moving files from like one Gmail to another. And so I see those as like the specific simple problems, but then my mind just goes blank on like without me doing it for you, like with like a simple 5-minute video or something, be like, let me show you how to move a file from your Gmail to your Google Workspace. Like, would that be a value bomb?
Yes,
Or
and for someone like me who I use Google like online. I'm an Apple person, which I
me
guess
too.
doesn't make sense, like because like I love all Google products like online. Like if you told me, because I love Google Docs, like you guys know this, I use Google Docs for everything, right? Google Slides, Google Drive. Like if you showed me tricks to organizing a lot of that stuff with very minimal time, like I've been working with Julie Chanel. I don't know if you guys know her. She's used to be Julie Stowen, used to be ClickFunnels, and she runs Funnel Gorgeous now.
Yeah.
But anyway, she had this like training as I was like rebuilding my Lean on Laurel program, and it was this Google Calendar training. And I was like, yes, I need to know that. Like it was just literally how to utilize Google Calendar and make your workflow a lot like smoother. And so like just think about all of the things that people, because like if you can get me, because remember, if your audience is someone like me, you just have to get them over that first hurdle and be like, oh, that was a lot easier. What else you got?
Yeah, because I do like I call it tips and tricks to save you clicks. Like that's the thing that I like my phrase in my YouTube. But so like the video, like the actual like filming the power content, like that feels so easy for me, but it's the next step like to get you across the finish line, because like one of my most popular power content is doing an archive folder in your Google Drive. Like your Google Drive is super messy, just move everything over to an archive folder. Your Google Drive is clean, it is not digital cluttered anymore, and then but you can still search for everything.
I
And
want that. Like literally you said that and I'm like, I want that.
But I show you how to do it in the power content in the 5-minute video. But
So here's what you do, right? Here's what you do. Okay. So everyone pay attention to this sequence, right? Because we're learning not only about how to make great value bombs, but transitioning into a conversation, right? If Adrian used that as a value bomb, Laurel's going to raise their hand and say, Adrian, I want that. Adrian gets me into Messenger. It's like, oh, hey, Laurel, like you're like so busy, like you're so busy, you know, like, hey, but this will take you about 5 to 10 minutes. But because I know your business, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. But here's the thing, like that's going to take you X amount of hours. And literally, if you want me to do it for you, it will only cost you X amount of like dollars, you know, but here's the video if you want to learn how to do it. What do you think I'm going to say?
Yes. Sign me up.
Because like you already know me and my pain points, you'd probably be like, Laurel, you don't need to waste time doing this. I'll give you guys a perfect example. So Danielle, who works for Kartra, she had a thing for whenever the email and the DNS and all that. Remember that thing where you had to change in the email and all of that stuff? And so Danielle is kind of like my go-to for anything Kartra. And I raised my hand and she got me in Messenger and I was like, I am not going to do this. How much for you to just do it for me? But that was a great thing, right? I didn't want her value bomb, but I knew because she did the value bomb, I was like, well, she knows how to do this. How much for her to do it for me? And so that's what I want you guys to start thinking is like, it's just about like showing people what you can do. Doesn't mean like I've gotten so like people think that because I teach people how to do ads, that people don't ask me to do their ads for them. I'm like, I get people out the wazoo asking me to do their ads for them. And I never do content about doing people's ads. They just watch me show people how to do ads. And so they know that I know how to do it. And so sometimes just putting out the content, explaining all of the cool things that you're doing is going to automatically give people, like for instance, Paige saying that she taught her client this thing and she got 2 premium clients. If she does an over the shoulder of that step-by-step for that client, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to be like, Paige, can you get me 2 premium clients next week? How do we make that happen? And then Paige could say, well, you know what? We can do XYZ. Or would it be helpful? Because she could say, I could send you a 60-minute video or a 2-hour workshop. Or would it be quicker? How about we just hop on a quick 15-minute call and I'll literally just walk you through the process, easy peasy.
So I guess my follow-up question to that is like the video is doing well, but what is that step to get them into the messenger? What is that thing that I'm going to say here, comment, because it's like I've given them the value in that power content.
Yep.
Absolutely. Video is the value because I have a ton of those tips and tricks. Like I could film power content for days for quick tips and tricks to Google, but it's that next step, that like comment for XYZ that I'm struggling with.
Yep, absolutely. So this power content video was on how to archive your Google Drive and still make it searchable. That's awesome, right? I just watched the video. You could say, you know, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through how to archive everything in your Google Drive and make it easily searchable so that doesn't clutter your drive, right? But I want you to pay close attention to this video, and you're likely not going to be taking notes. So drop me a line below this video, and I will give you this Google document that literally has every step-by-step process into getting it done so that you can get it done as soon as you're finished watching this video in only 15 minutes.
Okay, I see. So give them that thought, like, they can watch the video, don't take notes, just watch, and then drop me a comment and I'll give you this for you just to go ahead and implement this right now.
Yeah, that's what I typically do. Like whenever I'm going over any type of process, I'm like, look, I want you to pay attention to this video and understand how it works. I've got your notes covered. Just drop me a line below and I'll give you the notes on how to get this done.
Okay. Very cool. Okay. Thank you so much. And if you need any, Google tips and tricks for your,
well, no, I want you to send me that video.
I will. After
my Google Drive, my Google Drive, I even pay for extra Google Drive. So I accidentally deleted, like I was cleaning out my Google Drive and I accidentally deleted a whole bunch of stuff that I needed and I had to end up rebuilding stuff.
Oh no, that's exactly the problem that I aim to solve. So I'll send you my power content.
You can even use me as an example. You know, I work with Laurel and she said on a coaching call the other day that she was cleaning her Google Drive and she deleted. That is what I'm going to save you from doing. Like, see, another version of the same power content.
Perfect. Oh, this is so helpful. Thank you so much.
Yep. Let's see, Francis.
Hello.
Hello.
My offer is around helping coaches create more content by basically getting on calls and interviewing them every other week. So it's more of like having a conversation with a buddy instead of staring at a camera screen trying to like stumble through a script.
I love it. I just actually answered this on the Ask Laurel. I pre-recorded the Ask Laurel today. Which is kind of a shame because someone else, it was Jackie. She asked the question and I was like, oh man, I don't have the context to answer this. But anyway, go ahead with your question. Yeah, because this one's a good one because you're actually teaching someone a process, right? So Vernon was saying that he teaches people the process of an infocast. It's kind of like a webinar where people interview other people to do a webinar. So it's more like an interview VSL. And I told him, I said, give away the interview questions. And I could see how he would be like, well, that's my proprietary, like that's my process. And I'm like, yeah, but people can figure it out just by watching any of your interviews. Right. So you could literally give away the value bomb on how they themselves can ask a friend to do and help them do the content. And you can, hey, here's the questions that we use with our clients. Then when you get in the messenger, you could actually find out a little bit more. Well, do you have a friend who'll do this? Will they do this? Here's the thing. You can get your friend to do this, but here's what's going to end up happening. And I just want to let you know that this is what happens when you try to do it yourself. But just so you know, if you want us to do it, we can do this and blah, blah, blah. And so the sales conversation just ends up being a little bit smoother.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because originally what I was trying to do is like offer a free like intro call, like to show it. Like I actually just interview them on there and then cut up 5 video clips. But maybe like doing the questions and then kind of like the process as like the value bomb and then lead them into the interview
Give
in
away
Messenger.
your entire process. Like write down like every single resource. Like you probably have an SOP for cutting up those videos. You probably have shortcuts on getting those videos done. I would literally create all of your entire process and turn them all into individual value bombs that you can give away.
Okay. Not like one big one.
No, lots of small ones. You don't want to
Okay.
give them you don't want to give them everything. Plus they're not going to do everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
So-
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Abdul just said, I've tested multiple value bombs to my warm audience. Do you think it loses trust? No. Why would you giving away all of your resources lose trust? Like, do you guys lose trust because I give away so many value bombs?
I think it really shows like the people who actually know what they're talking about when they aren't
Yes.
just talking about the one thing over and over again, which is usually a regurgitation from the last course they took.
Yeah. You know what loses trust is when people change their offer every 30 days. Right? We all have that one or two friends, right? That every 30 days they're pitching something else. Yeah. Okay. Is it Jintanjali? How do you say it? I'm sorry. I probably just butchered that.
Hi, it's Gitanjali.
Gitanjali. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, actually, I am a homeopath and I am kind of struggling to find people online. Like my whole profession is kind of online only. I see patients online only.
Okay.
And I am just kind of struggling to create a value bomb because I am a gut and hormonal health specialist, basically PCOS and fertility and the gut health. But like when people come to me, they come with a whole lot of problems. Like it is not just the one thing. And I'm not
That's good.
understanding.
So every problem is going to have its own value bomb.
Okay. But
It's
I
good to
am
have a whole bunch of
very
problems.
confused, like how to create a value bomb.
Yeah. So it's just like what are one of the resources that you give your client? Like let's just talk about what's one specific problem.
For example, irregular periods, like people,
Yes.
women, they are not having because sometimes their cycle is too off, like for 2 months, no periods, and they come to me for that problem. But when I take their case, like I do not just talk about their periods, I talk about their gut health, I talk about their emotional
That's
health.
okay. This is just to get you a conversation, right? That's going to reveal the bigger problem, right? And so if someone comes to you and they're having irregular periods, what is a resource that you can give them to actually help them? Is it a 7-day diet, or is it some kind of like something that they can do that's going to be like, oh, okay, I might be on the right track to being able to fix this.
The thing is that like I do not give them any kind of resource because I prescribe them homeopathic remedies. So I'm not sure like if I can actually tell them which homeopathic remedies they can try on their own. Will that be a good idea, or
I have a lot of infertility coaches in my space, and they give away, like I've got one that gives away like the infertility diet. I get there's all kinds of like little things that people give away. There's one that's a that she gives away. It's a some kind of juice detox or something like that. But yeah, I love homeopathic medicine, and I actually have a homeopathic doctor too. And so like the way that I got mine was just because like she had so many great resources on carnivore diet.
Oh, okay. So you think that I should offer the diet program?
Well,
What should
no,
I
I'm
offer
just saying, no, these are just resources. Like, remember, you're just trying. So just remember this. These value bombs are just little things to attract your ideal client so that you can have a conversation with them.
Okay. So
Remember, it doesn't necessarily, I will give you an example. So, okay, perfect, right? So let's say I do Western medicine, right? And obviously we all do, I guess, in some sort of way. But let's say that I want to lose weight, right? And Western medicine says that I should follow a food pyramid diet, right? Like I should eat whole grains and all of this stuff, right? And I totally believe that, right? But if you're like, hey, you know, here's why most women over 40 don't lose weight, it's because they're doing this. What's in this guide will allow you to eat steak every single day while still being able to, you know, drop the weight that you want, right? I might raise my hand and not know anything about homeopathic, like anything, but I am a client who wants to lose weight. And so now you've opened the door to a conversation to helping me understand a different solution. Does that make sense? Because I think sometimes we think that we have to like deliver on what we're giving the value bomb on. The value bomb is just a bait, right? When you go fishing, you use different baits to catch different fish. That's all this value bomb is meant to do. Is just to get you a conversation with someone who could be your ideal client.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Kara had a great idea. Maybe a list of herbs or special tea that can help improve their hormone health.
oh yes. Yes.
Yeah. There was one, I want to say, me and one of my friends actually just talked about it because she was giving away something that was, it was some kind of herbal tea to help with menopause or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting value bomb. And I was like, and my friend actually was like, hey, can I get it from your student? And I was like, yeah, go get it.
Okay, I will try that, and we'll meet you again. We'll bug
Oh
you
yeah,
again.
100%. So what I'm gonna do, and we'll continue the conversation as I'm going through this, because I want you guys to kind of like just kind of get more of a visual flow of how we actually want this to go. So if I share my screen, let's see, should be able to.
Yes. Any help? No.
Okay. So, okay, if we start, so what we want to do is we want to think about our value bomb as kind of like the top of the funnel, right? We want to see this entire process just as if it was like top of funnel stuff, right? So we want to bring people through a journey. So if we have a value bomb, okay, remember it needs to solve a small, immediate problem, right? I want to reiterate, consume in 10 minutes and execute within 24 to 48 hours. Okay. So why do I want to do this? Is because, right, if I can get them to execute within 24 to 48 hours, it gives me a reason to follow up in Messenger to see if they have executed. Here's what we want to happen though. We want them to come back to follow up because it's going to reveal the bigger problem as they are actually executing. Okay. So when they're consuming the content or executing the content, they need to have an aha moment that they have the bigger problem. This is super important. We need to get them to understand what the bigger problem is. And then this is where we offer them, and I don't care how long it is. I usually say 15 minutes is kind of like the you know, the perfect for like a quick diagnostic call. Usually they call them discovery calls, that if you need to, you can see if they're a great fit for a full-blown strategy call. That's up to you. That's up to the offer, right? But being able to reveal what this bigger problem is, that's when you say, would it be worth X amount of minutes for me to give you the roadmap to solving that problem? Okay. Now follow me on this next part. Okay. On this call, you're actually giving them the roadmap to solving that problem. I'll use Adrian as an example, right? So the bigger problem is my Google is unorganized and I spend way too much time trying to organize it, right? She would say, would it be worth 15 minutes if I could show you how to do these couple of things that's going to give you back X amount of minutes every single week, right? Oh, someone is really freaking loud. Let's see who that is. Let's see. I got that. Okay. So she's going to get me on a 15-minute call, right? And on that call, she's going to be, Laurel, in order to get back X amount of time every single week, the first thing you're going to need to do is this. Now, there are a couple of different ways to do this. You can do it this way, you could do it this way, or me and my team actually do this too, so that's an option. The next thing you're going to have to do is this. There are a couple of different ways that you can do it. It's going to take you X amount of time each week. You can use this resource. It doesn't have to be me, but just so you know, we also can do this for you. So do you see how I'm literally basing the call as this roadmap, and I'm literally giving people everything, the list of things that they need to do. So they are literally leaving that call with everything that they need in order to go execute. You are the accelerant. Okay, you're not selling the itemized checklist. You're giving them that. You're selling that you're going to help them get there faster and with less error by you either helping them or just doing it for them. Does that make sense? So if we look at every single value bomb flow as its own funnel, the value bomb's job is to just get an ideal client to raise their hand. Right? It's just to get that person to raise their hand and then help them solve that small immediate problem, reveals the bigger problem. That's what the 15-minute call is for. On the call, you do a diagnostic, you give them the steps that they need in order to do what you need them to do. You slide it over or slide it into their DM or whatever, say, hey, here's the Google document. But just know, if you try to execute this on your own, just beware of this, this, and this. But if you decide, you know, you want me or my team to do this, just so you know, you won't have to worry about that. You know, just let me know if you're interested in having a further conversation about how we can help you do that. But you see how it's just so natural? Like, it's just very natural. There's no like hard pitch. Like, it's just like you're giving them the steps that they need. And so the call in itself is super valuable. Like, you're literally just giving them everything that they need. Does anyone have any questions about that part?
I'm assuming you're still doing the Loom when you give the Google Doc, you know, you give the value.
Yeah, whenever I give them anytime I'm giving anyone a Google Doc, most of the time I'm giving them a Loom video so that they know exactly how to execute it. Because I want them to execute it correctly so that it can reveal that big problem, right? Or sometimes in the Loom video explanation, I'm actually explaining what the bigger problem is in the Loom video. Like, I'm telling them what's ahead. Like, hey, just so you know, it is pretty easy to execute this, but just so that you're aware, if you try to do it this way, this is going to happen. If you do it this way, it's going to happen like this. And you just tell people, right? Sound very familiar. It's Nick Peterson. If you guys aren't familiar, he's my mentor. It's his stealth influence. It's building allegiance capital with our audience. We're telling them that we know where they're going and we know what's going to happen before they do. Yeah, so Kylie says, are there any life coaching value bomb examples? Well, let's just talk about it, Kylie. But it all comes down to knowing your ideal client's specific problems. You have to know that. Otherwise this won't work. Like, I know that like a lot of people like have like personal development. I think life coaching falls under personal development. Personal development is the hardest to crack. You have to look at it. And I know, and people argue with me about it all the time. They're like, oh, it's not about money. It is always about money. Even if people are like, I want to live, you know, they need money in order to do that, right? Like if someone wants to make an impact on the world, it still has to do with money. They still need to like, you know, increase their performance in one way or another so that they can do more work to make more money. So Clara says the invite to the 15-minute call is done in the messenger conversation. Yep. It's done after they've completed the value bomb. Cause like I like to follow up and say, hey, just curious how it went. Like, just want to know, right? And one of the things to say, because I know she asked a while ago, is she feels weird about following up with people who haven't answered her. What I do in Messenger is if someone doesn't answer me, but they've read my thing, I go back and I said, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you understood what I was asking, and I'm sorry if I might have confused you. I just want to make sure that I was clear on what I was asking. Like, you know, I'll just phrase it something like that. Like, I just want to make sure that I asked the right question, you know, or did that question stump you or something like that, right? But I always go back and I give them one more chance. And if not, then I move on, because who cares, right? They're just one extra person. Kylie says, do we give a calendar link in DM, or do we back and forth and schedule time with them? I like to save my clients as much time as possible. I want to get things done. So I would send them a Calendly link. Like, this is what I used to do. Like back in the day when I first started, my very first sales funnel was a power content video to a Google document to a Calendly link, the free calendar link, to a Zoom link, to a PayPal link. That was my first 6-figure sales funnel. I made 6 figures just doing that, and my second 6 figures just doing that. No ads, no tools, no click funnels, no nothing. Literally just that step by step. Yep. Let's see. Tina and Dan said we only have 7 days now after their last message on Facebook Messenger. Yeah, you have to answer it within 7 days with your business profile. Here's a trick. I actually use my personal profile to do the 2 steps, even on my business page. I always friend the people and then do it. But you don't have to do it that way. That's just the way that I do it. I like it's more personal. And plus I hate business page messaging because there's so much freaking spam in there. Okay, we'll do one round. Did everyone understand it? Is everyone a little bit clearer on value bombs and the whole process? I see Tiffany Gallo. What is your takeaway today? You were really with confidence shaking your head that you got something. Well, tell everyone what you got out of today, or maybe something that you didn't understand before and now you understand.
Thank you so much for the shout out, first of all, and for your beautiful content. For me, I've just needed to take action, and so this has kind of been where I've been safe, kind of being like in my head, thinking about it. So just hearing you really break down, it's to do this. And I wrote down and need to print it out in giant letters. It's not to get them over the finish line. It's just to get them over the starting line. That was like majorly powerful. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. One of the things that, you know, my mentor makes us do, and I think I'm going to start implementing it inside the $7 program. My Lean on Laurel students already know what I'm about to say, but I force everyone to engage the field. Like whenever people come into my Lean on Laurel program, I make them do a 7-day of implementation before they could even talk to me. Why do I do that? I make them engage the field so that we have something to talk about. Not what if this, what if that, what if this? No, they come into LOL, they go and they engage the field. And then when we have our one-on-one, we actually have stuff to talk about and stuff to fix. And I'm not wasting it answering questions. Well, what if this or what if that? Like, because most of the time, and this is something I'm going to start pushing back on you guys in the $7 program, is because most of the questions that you guys ask can be answered by just simply going through the process and doing it. Like at the end of the day, like you will answer, like my mentor He laughs at me all the time. And guys, I'm guilty of this. This is why I have a mentor, right? I wrote a script the other day and I sent it to Nick. And I said, Nick, what do you think? Like, I was like, can you rewrite this and give it your special sauce? And he sits on it for about 4 days and he sends it back to me. He's like, hey, here you go. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so much better. He's like, I didn't change a thing. Sometimes we just have to go and just put stuff out there, you know, and just like try stuff. Like we can't be afraid to fail, right? Someone during the Blitz, it was kind of the theme, go ugly fast, right? Like just go put out the ugliest content and just start getting better. The faster we do it, the faster it gets, you know. That's what got me momentum, right? I started my business in April of 2018. By Thanksgiving break, I was quitting my job. But it was because every single day I showed up, even when I had a full-time job. I would take Zoom calls during my lunch hour. You know, we just have to get good. I had a little advantage. I will say this, and this is something I want you guys to keep in mind. I'm not claiming to be good. You guys have to remember, I've got 20 plus years of television experience in me. That's why this program is so in-depth. It's because everything I learned about making content for television is also in here. And so I've been doing content since 2002. I just aged myself. I'm going to be 42 next week on April 20. I think my birthday is next week. I'm turning 42. I've been doing content since 2002. This is a long time, right? So give yourself a break if you're not as good as me, right? I've got 20 plus years ahead of you guys. So I've got a couple more minutes. And so I'm going to take a couple more questions. I see we still have some. Mo, lay it on me.
So I got a question. It's not really towards the value bomb, but I'm working with a business broker, right?
Okay.
So I'm helping them generate more leads of people who are trying to sell their businesses. Now,
Yep.
should they also have a power content should I do a messenger ad for them, or should I just do like right now I'm sending the people to a quiz to where like
You don't want to send people to a quiz on power content.
okay,
You want to give them a value bomb. The whole point of power. So one of the things that I want you guys to understand, because a lot of people don't understand why we do ads and we don't send people to an opt-in or quit, like anything like that. We have to remember that my strategy is built as stealth. It's a stealth sales process, meaning our sales conversation flies under the radar because a lot of people don't understand that there's pipeline equity. So I had a question on the Ask Laurel thread this past week, and he's like, I'm not getting any traction on my messenger conversations. I wonder if it's because I'm asking people to opt in with their name, number, and email in order to get the value bomb. And I'm like, have you not listened to anything that I say in this? I literally face palmed on the Ask Laurel Live. I'm like, that is not what I teach you guys, right? And so what I want you guys to understand, and here's my like my caveat. You guys don't have to follow a single thing that I say, right? Don't have to at all, right? But once you stray from my strategy, it eliminates my responsibility to give support on whatever strategy you follow. And so that's what I always tell people. It's like, it's not my strategy, but cool. If you want to go and execute it, but just don't ask me to support when things go wrong, right? Because it's not what I teach. And so it's not. So if you have a client that's sending people to a quiz, that's fine. But the strategy is to build goodwill. And that's why the strategy works so well, is because we want to give out a lot of goodwill. And then we can go back, once we've given a lot of goodwill, we can get rid of some of that pipeline equity and do a sales pitch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. So pretty much, even though they're brokers, they still need to have conversations with people who are looking to sell their business instead of just.
If they want leads, here's the thing too, the caveat, another caveat, right? My ads ecosystem does not depend on messenger conversations. I know I talk a lot about messenger conversations, but here's why. So my ecosystem gives people a positive ROAS for two different reasons. You can run my ecosystem, meaning the retargeting and the power content, without messenger conversations. It's still going to give you an 8 to 10 times return on ad spend on average. It's still going to give you an 8 to 10, which is huge because on average, most businesses only get 2 to 3 times their return on ad spend. So my ecosystem itself, without the messenger conversations, is still going to give you a return. If you have messenger conversations, that gives you more volume, right? Especially people who have call setters, they love the strategy because we're able to squeeze out 30 to 40 times the return on ad spend using Messenger. Does that make sense? It doesn't rely, like you don't have to do Messenger conversations to execute my ecosystem. You could do it without it. It's still going to give you 8 to 10 times your return. But if you add in Messenger, it really skyrockets that return on ad spend. But some business owners, they're like, you know what? I'm okay with the 8 to 10. I'm happy. I don't want to take the time and I don't want to hire someone to do it. And I'm like, that's cool. So it just all depends.
All right, thank you.
That was a great question. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Ivan.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. We'll go Ivan, Andrea, Kara, Jackie, and then we'll end on Miss Clara. I think I've got enough time to
Perfect.
get all of you guys right there.
Thanks. So I used to work with a company where I did coaching kind of for corporate workers who were really like stressed out and just messed up and didn't know which way to move and how to move up and get better. And now I'm trying to do it on my own. So I'm thinking for a value bomb to get started is something like how to say no to your boss without negative consequences. As like one of the things. And I'm not sure if that's specific enough for a value bomb in this case.
Yes, I would add in like, is this like a corporate? Is this like what? Remind me, did you say corporate?
Yeah, so they're like corporate employees. So whether they're working in like advertising or something, they're working for a company. They're part of an organization.
Yeah, I would mention corporate or CEO or something like that. How to say no to your CEO without consequences or something like that. That's sexy.
Okay.
It's super sexy.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
You're
that's
very
sort of
welcome.
something like give me 10 minutes and I'll equip you with a straightforward strategy that can help you say no to your CEO without any negative consequences or something
I
like
wouldn't
that.
even say strategy. I would give them a script they can use.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I will tell you
Gotcha.
literally what to say in order to avoid having, getting in trouble with the boss. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yep. Very welcome.
Thank you.
Andrea.
Hey there. I just changed from health coaching into business coaching, and I don't change every 5 minutes. It took me 8 years to get there. But anyway, so I'm now redoing all my value bombs and everything, which is fun. So I'm offering a mastermind that helps health coaches in the 5 figures to go to 6 figures through collaborations, mostly collaborations and advanced strategies.
Okay,
They
so that makes
basically
sense. Your transition makes sense because you were successful as a health coach and now you're helping other health. So that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. So now they are struggling. They're obviously struggling with a full lot of things, but enough leads, not sure where and how to find them, and cold leads are not converting, or the funnel is too complicated, sales calls not converting. These are probably the main issues they have. How can I lead them into the collaboration kind of thing? I have a couple of lead magnets that I can easily use as value bombs, where to find collaboration partners or how to identify them or whatever it is. But how can I bridge that from their problems to the collaboration?
Okay, so the problem that you're trying to solve is what?
They have not enough leads, not sure where to find them or how to find them, and cold leads are not converting.
So let's pick one. So cold leads are not converting. Okay.
Okay.
What is the resource that you're going to give them that's going to help them solve that problem?
So my idea was that when you get leads through collaborations, they know you already, they trust you because you've been introduced by the collaborative partner.
No. So what's that? So remember, the resource is going to solve the cold leads. So what is the resource that you're giving them to solve the cold leads problem?
No, I was completely on the collaboration. I don't know. But to basically to identify better with the leads, or to have better leads that trust you better.
Okay. So what's the problem that you're solving?
That leads don't trust you.
Okay. Leads don't trust them. Okay. What is the resource that you're going to give them that's going to solve that problem?
It could be, let's say, the 5 scripts to use in your social media messaging that make, or the 5 posts that you can do in your social media messaging that make them trust you.
Okay. Is that something they're going to post in a week, or how long?
Yeah, they could probably I could do like two scripts, for example.
Okay. Yeah. So you could do something like, hey, post these two script, I guess Facebook posts, right, on your profile, in order to get, at least 1 to 2 people that reach out to you or something like that, right? Or something like that. So when you're giving that to them, what bigger problem is that going to reveal? If they do the 2 posts, and let's say they get 1 or 2 people reaching out to them, what is going to be the bigger problem that value bomb is going to help them reveal?
Then they need to convert them.
That they don't know how to, they don't know how to, yeah. Okay. So now whenever you're giving those 2 posts in Messenger, you say, hey, here are the 2 posts. Just know that you're probably going to get a couple of people that are going to reach out. And if you don't know how to convert them, come back to me and I'll let you in on a secret script that I teach my private students, right? So that gives them the in to come back to you. They're going to come back to you in 1 of 2 reasons. One, they did it and they got 1 or 2 people reaching out and they want to talk to you about that, or they're going to come back to you and say that did not work. And then, but that still gives you an in, because then you can say, well, send me the 2 posts that you did. Would it be worth a quick 15-minute call? And I will do a little content audit of all your stuff in the last 30 days and give you a roadmap on how to fix it.
Okay, that sounds very good. I think I have to put the recording to get all this. But now how will I bring them into the collaboration? Because my mastermind is really about using collaborations and all that to grow your business.
Perfect. So when you're on the call, right, you're like, hey, social media is in this. You could say something like, look,
okay, got it.
You can do organic content or you can do ads.
Yeah.
Here's what I do with my clients. We collaborate. Here's what collaboration actually looks like. In order to collaborate, there are 5, I'm just making shit up, but there are 5 steps that you have to do in order to do this right. The first one is pretty easy. I'm pretty sure that you can do this on your own. Here's what it is, and here's how you do it. Number 2 and 3, they're a little bit tricky. You're going to have to do XYZ. It's going to take you X amount of time. Just wanted to let you know that me or my team members can actually collaborate with you on doing this, and it's going to save you X amount of time each week. But if you want to do it on your own, here's how you do it. Number 3, but you see how I'm literally just going through and just literally saying, hey, this is how you do it. By the way, if you want me to help you do this even faster, just want to let you know that we could do this for you.
So I don't speak about collaboration at all before, like in my whatever first comments or first chats or whatever with them.
Not if you haven't mentioned it as the problem that you're solving.
Okay.
Because the bigger problem is they can't convert people.
Or I have to bring people to find people who already do collaboration. Like I have somebody who has a podcast, but is not getting any sales out of it. Then I could use it. Okay, gotcha. Thank
you. Like even Kylie had a great idea. She said, what if the next step when it doesn't work, the magic sauce is what it looks like when someone else posts the same content and endorses you. See, that's a great conversation, because if it doesn't work, you can say, here's what it looks like whenever we're working with collaborators. You see?
Wow. Very good.
Really just like, we have to because I think a lot of you guys are trying to go from 1 to 5 when it's 1 to 1.2 to 1.4 to 1.6. Like it's not as fast as because it can be though. And I'm not going to tell you guys, like, I'll be completely transparent. I suck at pitching. Like I did, I had Vince Reed do a interview and Focus with me, and Julie Chanel did one with me yesterday. Both videos had to be edited because when I got to the pitch, I fucking just can't do it. Some people can. And if you're great at sales, you probably don't need to do as many steps as I'm teaching you guys, because you could probably just do it. I am totally transparent. I cannot. I have to do it this way because it feels the most authentic and comfortable for me. Right? So for anyone here, there's probably a lot of people on this call who are better at sales conversations than I am. But that's the reason why I don't go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 is I have to go 1.2, 1.4. I have to like do this longer marketing process because I suck at sales so much. Did that help, Andrea?
Wonderful. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no worries. Kara.
Hey, it's actually both of us here today.
Oh yeah, junk removal, right?
Yes.
I remember you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bit of an question, but you mentioned earlier, like you don't want to be the guy that's like switching offers all the time. And that right now, I'm actually debating like I wanted to start a junk removal course, like how to start and get your junk removal business from 0 to 20K in the next
Yes,
90.
you should. Yes, because you guys are doing pretty good, aren't you?
Yeah, we've gotten like our best month was 60K within like 20 months.
Guys, you guys hear this? Junk removal. How many of you guys have a husband that needs something to do? Y'all send them their way.
That's literally what she did. But I'm honestly like I'm not like super excited about it. Like I actually have another idea for a course to help immigrant families that come here for the American dream, but then kind of get stuck in the hustle and the grind 9 to 5, and essentially how to get them to from there to start investing in properties. We've invested in some properties and get out of the grind of 9 to 5. It's my story. It's a path that I've walked through. But I don't want to start something and then like have a hard time pivoting.
So you're an immigrant.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You cut out.
Oh,
We lost you there for a second.
Are you there?
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay, sorry.
Am I still
Repeat what
here?
you said.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, I was like, what's better for an immigrant to learn? Like, is it junk removal or real estate investing? I mean, you could still do your passion project either way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be the junk removal thing is such a simple business. That's a great way to get into business. Like the actual, work is very, very, very simple. And so you can actually work on learning business, which has been, great, and it's simple, and it's a great way to get something going and start generating some cash. Again, I don't know. I just, we have to do it already.
Here's my like thing with the real estate. Will they have money to invest in real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Well, or is the junk removal thing a thing to get them cash flow to get real estate?
Explain what you had. The idea was how to get to your first million, essentially, and what was your strategy?
Yeah, essentially it's you get to margin, you get some financial margin so you can afford the risk to either get into sales or start a very basic boring business to generate income and then go into real estate.
See, I think you're trying to sell the second step when you need to focus on selling the first step, right? Because if I'm an immigrant coming to the country and I don't have resources, I would probably get scared off and not think that I could do any real estate investing.
I was there for sure. That was me.
I think that's a great, like, either way, like the fact that like it's a passion project is really awesome, and you have your own personal story.
Yeah.
So do you think that to start with, like how to start a junk removal business, is it too much of a pivot or like leap to maybe eventually, if that goes well?
It's not. It fits exactly it fits into what exactly you guys are doing. It's your story. It's what you did. What's a better case study than that,
Yeah. Okay. That's helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laurel.
Yeah. I always enjoy seeing you guys. Let's see, Jackie and then Miss Clara.
Oh yeah, hi. So I just wanted to ask one question. And that is, I noticed at the beginning you spoke a lot about, I know this is not probably a value bomb, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking about running some workshops on my profile, and I'm sure I remember somewhere when I first started with your program, you mentioned that. Is that too much? Too much?
Nope.
On your profile
Nothing's too
to
much.
do work?
Nope. I do it all the time. And
And how long would
I
those
restream my
workshops-
have you guys noticed I restream a lot of my workshops to my profile too?
On your profile, and how long would those workshops be, do you think?
I stream up to like an hour.
So on your profile, so not on your page, you can just do them on your
I
profile.
do it in all
'cause
three
I've got a
places.
lot-
I do it on my profile, I do it on YouTube, and I do it to my business page.
Right, okay. And another question is, with all the rules with Facebook changing, how would you stream to Facebook? Do you just use Facebook Live?
I guess so. I don't know. I know rules of Facebook are changing. I haven't looked that far ahead. Because I just pivot whenever Facebook makes changes. I just pivot.
Right, okay. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you very
worries.
much.
No worries. No worries. I'm kind of one of those, like when it comes to the whole social media, I just go with the flow because I just expect changes to happen. So I'm just like, whenever the change comes, it's, you know, it's just how it is, how it is. Clara.
It's just that because I got, oh, that's all right. That's okay.
I was gonna say, Clara, take us home.
Okay, so my understanding, one of my takeaways was the value bomb isn't always necessarily just the PDF. When you do send it, it could be a video.
Yep.
One of the things I've seen, because I love your ads, I've noticed that sometimes when I click on an ad, it goes to a version of your sales page that pitches the $7 program, but you've put at the very top, full screen, the video where you are giving value. And because I've seen a couple, yeah, and I thought it was brilliant because I get the value, and right below it, I was like, oh, if I hadn't signed up for your program, well, there it is. I'm right there.
Wait, tell me about this ad. Now I'm like, what kind, like,
There've been a couple where, and I don't know if you consider those value bomb ads, but I click on it because I want to watch the video, and it goes to a variant of your sales page where that video is at the very top of the sales page, but everything else is your normal $7 sales page.
I wonder if Facebook is doing like some kind of weird ad or something. See, guys, I don't even know. I just put ads in the Facebook ads manager, and I just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. That's cool. That sounds really cool though.
It sounds so cool, and I thought like, oh, is that a stealth way where it's like, hey, if my value bomb is actually a deeper dive video, if I give the link in the chat, they still get to watch the value bomb, but it just happens to live on the page as my low ticket membership, which is ultimately the thing I want to offer. Or is that meant for a different situation?
I don't know. Next time you see that ad, can you record it for me? I want to see what it looks like. I did notice the other day, and I don't know what I did. I think I forgot to turn off you know how Facebook, like if you let Facebook optimize, it'll give you different ad options. Like it'll change. I noticed the other day that some of my ads, they changed the text on it, and I was like, I didn't write this copy. And I was like, I guess I let Facebook optimize, but half the time I'm just like, I just put my stuff in the ads manager and just let Facebook do its thing.
Would that be okay? Like, does that seem like sneaky to like still give like the value bomb detail?
So whenever I give away a value bomb, I always have a call to action in the value bomb. So if I'm doing like, let's say I'm doing the messenger SOP, at the top of the value bomb, it says, this is the same script I give students in my $7 program. Want to know what that is? Here's a link. And then it's the SOP.
Okay. So my version could be, here's my more detailed video value bomb, and below it, like, here's the link, by the way, to this membership or to this whatever it is.
Yeah, you can say this is a SOP from my membership that helps people do XYZ. Want to check it out, and then just put a link.
Do you think that's like less what's the word? Sneaky than like just sticking it at the top literally of the sales page, which is what I saw. So that's why I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Facebook's doing that for me. I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess it's like to test, but yeah.
Take a screen. Yeah, please take a screenshot. I want to see what it looks like.
Because I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh, how cool. I will next time I see it.
I should have been like, yes, I was real brilliant, and I'm not going to share my secret.
Okay.
Well, awesome. It is 1:30 on the dot. Look at that. We got everything done in 90 minutes. I enjoyed spending time with you guys today. Yeah, you guys are very, very welcome. It's always great to see your faces. I'm going to put this in the replay section. Did you guys notice now we have a replay vault, so it's clear on where replays are? And did you guys see I added a frequently asked question? Check this out. I'll show you guys a little bit. I'm really excited about how I switched things around, and I had some really great ideas. I had a great conversation with Evelyn Weiss the other day. I'm going to stream some of it. And I added some cool stuff. And so I noticed that there's a new library section. By the way, it's my birthday, but I'm giving you guys a surprise here on April 26th. So you guys will see something. I think you guys are going to really love it. But what I'm starting to do is I'm stocking the library. Look, all of the frequently asked questions that y'all ask, like where does Laurel's book fit into the ecosystem? How to have conversations on YouTube. And so all of these are direct resources to frequently asked questions and me answering them. If your show up rate sucks for book calls, go here. And so all of these are this is gonna be a work in progress. I'm just gonna make a complete library of frequently asked questions, but I'm also gonna add other things that I'm gonna leave it at a tease, because if I get too excited, I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna go in here, but I promise you guys are gonna love it. But we also do have a replay vault. And so I started cataloging all of the workshops too in order, so that you guys see all of the workshops that we've done for conversions over cocktails and stuff like that. So now you can see conversions over cocktails. This one today is going to go here, and I'm going to start making a list, a categorized list and stuff. So tried to make it as clear as as possible, but I just wanted to let you guys know that we do have a new section. Well, the replay vault, and then the library is going to be a new section too, where Nick has given me some really cool resources to put in there. And so there's a lot of people who are like, hey, I want to give value to your members. And so some of my colleagues, Dan Henry, Vince Reed, a lot of people are like going to contribute some stuff. And so the library is going to be a really cool section of the program, but just I won't let you guys know what the birthday gift to you guys is. But I think you guys are gonna love it. So I'm just trying to make this program, just better and better. We're close to 4,000 members, and I told you guys I'm capping it. So just make sure if your payment fails, you're gonna have to unfortunately go to the bottom of the waiting list. So please make sure your payments don't fail. Make sure just make sure you're on top of your stuff, because you guys are gonna get, obviously, once you're in, you're in. But once we get to 4,000, and we're super close to that now, I'm capping the program. And so once we get to 4,000 people, there's only going to be quarterly enrollment. So that's the way it's going to work. Cause I like the size of it. Look how small our call was today, right? I don't want the calls to be like super, super big. I like them the way that they are now. And the Ask Laurel thread's not crazy every single week. And so I find that this is a really comfortable size for the program, to where I feel like I actually know you guys here in the, even in the $7 program. I know Adrian, I know Andrea, I know Clara, I know everyone, almost everyone who shows up. I met Ginger, just this past week. So I'm super excited to get to know more of everyone. So you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you guys in the group.